So I was thinking we'd do just a funny little quick segment on what are some things that people shouldn't do when they're applying for a job, talking to a recruiter, applying for something, skill sets, stuff they put on their resume. Like what do you not do?
Are you talking from the resume point of view?
I'm thinking all of it. Like I know one thing you mentioned is inconsistency with the brand.
Yeah.
So LinkedIn doesn't match what the resume says.
Yeah.
And then of course the Facebook profile has got these drunk party photos on it of this reckless guy who you don't want in your corporate culture.
Yeah. Well, those are big things, right? And those are no-nos right off the bat. Don't wear sunglasses on your pictures.
Oh yeah.
Those are huge, right?
Yeah.
I think wearing sunglasses and it's your LinkedIn profile, I think
That's
you look
not
like
cool.
a thief.
Yeah.
Right? And you're not truthful to somebody.
Yeah.
So I would take those glasses right off. Don't use your camping pictures on your LinkedIn. Is a big no-no. Don't misrepresent yourself.
Yeah.
Don't put jobs on that you've never done.
Is it okay to maintain a separate Facebook for personal and LinkedIn for professional, but maybe not even mention that you have a Facebook profile? Or will it be found anyways?
You're going to find it. I mean, if you're applying for, let's say, for a directorship role, and you're an IT director, and you're commanding, a couple $100,000 in salary, you want to make sure it's legit. Everything's legit.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to find out somewhere, and no information right now is secret.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
So, and
Mark
you know
Zuckerberg has
right?
made sure of that.
Yeah, well, exactly.
There's no such thing as private information
There's
anymore.
nothing private. So if
Yeah.
you're applying for a big job,
Yeah.
and you have worry that you have some pictures on your Facebook
Yeah.
that you shouldn't have,
Yeah.
then don't have them.
Yeah,
You
I
should
agree.
delete them and get rid of them.
Yeah.
If you're building your brand, like we talked in another segment,
Yeah.
then that's your brand.
Yeah.
And you're going to be stuck with that brand if they find out that you have some party pictures that you shouldn't have on the thing.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
You're applying for a role, and you're going to be a front of
Yeah.
a directorship of a major corporation.
Yeah.
Is it really worthwhile for you to have that? And anything you make comments and stuff on Twitter,
Yeah.
it's always found.
Yeah.
Okay, so Twitter is a big thing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have thought so. A lot of noise there.
There's a lot of noise, and you're putting your name out there.
Yeah.
And make sure you're commenting properly.
Yeah.
And don't swear at people. Don't
Yeah.
derogatory,
Yeah.
remarks or anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a professional. I mean, be
Yeah.
professional, inside and out. Inside in the role that you're in,
Yeah.
and outside on your own time too.
Yeah.
So that's really important. When you go for interviews, make sure you're talking to everybody. We always have comments where some people don't talk to a certain set of group of people.
Oh no.
Yeah, and they'll have a panel sitting there and they won't talk to somebody.
Oh geez.
They won't, or they'll shake hands, or they'll in an interview they'll just keep looking down. They won't even make eye contact.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you're making eye contact.
Soft skills are huge.
Huge. You go to an interview and people don't, they're sitting in front of you. You're trying to answer a question. They don't even know what the role is, or they haven't even went to.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Yeah. Oh, they haven't even gone to the client's website to
Right,
even
to see what they're
type
about.
of work they do.
Yeah.
Those are huge.
Yeah.
If you want to work for them, contractor or perm,
Yeah.
you want to make sure that you're representing that client properly.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure. So there's some no-nos like that. Reference checks. Don't give a reference check or a reference name for a person that's really going to talk bad about you.
Or old.
Or an old one.
Or they've never asked for permission.
Or never asked for permission, right? So you've had that, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
And
you
spell
want to
check your resume.
and spell check your resume, right?
Yeah.
I mean, those are huge, right?
Yeah.
Those are faux pas, right?
Oh, huge.
You call for a reference check on somebody, all of a sudden you go, oh man, this guy is like so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, whoa, okay,
Wow.
why would he use you as a reference? I don't know.
Maybe he's got no other references.
There's no other references. So then you kind of worry, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's
I
a
mean,
flag.
And a lot of managers are being truthful because they're also representing their own company too.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And when they need to hire somebody
Yeah.
and they approach us and they want us to give them the best reference
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah.
So I understand from that point of view, but don't use those people if you kind of know that they're, and confirm with them.
Yeah.
Was I a good employee?
Yeah, for sure.
If I use you as a reference, is there
Yeah.
good things to say?
Yeah.
And I mean, a handshake is huge.
Yeah.
Some people just go like handshake and like, man, give them something, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You're there for a job, man.
Well, you want to show some confidence.
Yeah, and you want to show confidence.
Yeah.
When you're answering questions, don't bring everybody and your mom and pop and everybody into the story when you're answering a question. You want to answer the question based on what they're asking you. Stick to the point.
Yeah.
If they ask you, hey, can you explain your last assignment?
Yeah.
Right? And you were only there for 4 months. Okay,
Yeah.
For whatever reason you had to leave and stuff,
Yeah.
you don't need to get into that.
Yeah.
Just stick with the point.
Yeah.
Right? Explain your project, that's all they want to ask you.
Yeah.
They already know that you were only there for 4 months or
Yeah.
whatever the case
Yeah.
is, right?
Yeah.
So you don't need to bring, I got into an accident, blah, 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 something happened, my dog died, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You don't need to mention all that.
Yeah.
Right? Stick with the point. They only have interviewers only have a certain amount of time to
Yeah.
talk to you. And they also have other people that they've scheduled.
That's right.
Don't waste their time.
Yeah.
So stick to the point, answer, fully listen. I've had people which is a huge no-no, let them ask the question. Don't assume that, you already know the answer before you even listen to the question.
Yeah.
People candidates will go there and they start answering a question. And all of a sudden they're like, they answer the question and then they start talking. Because they think they know the question that was being asked. But then the interviewer will have to go back and ask the same question again.
Yeah.
Because they weren't allowed to, weren't given the time to ask for it.
Yeah.
Right? Ask the full question. So that's a no-no. So you're there looking for a job. You're there looking for an employment with that company. Work within their parameters, right?
Yeah.
I had one lady, she called me after and she goes to me, Lak, I finished the interview. Oh, it went really well. I said, how long was the interview? Because we normally ask. She goes, well, it was scheduled, you had told me it was scheduled for 30 minutes. They finished in 15. So I had 15 minutes, so I talked. So she talked for an extra 15 minutes.
Oof.
They might have wanted to hire her. They
Yeah.
might have got all of their answers
Yeah.
that they needed, but she wasn't even forwarded for the next stage
Yeah.
because she wasted another 15, 20 minutes of their time because she had
Yeah.
that much allotted time.
Oh.
So then she
That's no
was
good.
was basically
Not shortlisted.
trashed, right?
Yeah.
And they weren't shortlisted.
Yeah.
And so you want to make sure that those are big faux pas.
Yeah.
But again, don't waste the client's time. Go in there as a professional, dress professionally.
Yes.
If you're a project manager, if
Show up
you're
early. Don't ever show up late.
Yeah, don't show up early.
Yeah. Make sure you know
Make
where
sure
you're
you're
going.
dressed for success.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You are dressed in the role that you're applying for.
Yeah.
So if you're a project manager,
Yeah.
suit and tie.
Yeah.
Right? The whole 9 yards. If you are a construction worker,
Yeah.
no suit and tie.
Yeah.
Work clothes that are professional
And clean.
and clean. Yeah, of course, right? But you want to show them that's the
That you
role
care.
that you care.
Yeah,
right?
I agree. Yeah.
If you come in a suit and tie, they'll probably laugh you out.
Yeah.
But if it's a project manager who comes in street clothes,
Yeah.
then they're going to laugh you out also.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So dress for the role that you're applying for.
Yeah.
Dress and know your resume.
Yeah.
Don't take a resume and start reading off there.
Oh, yeah.
That's a major faux pas.
Yeah.
Know your resume. Don't start reading bullet points off your resume. It's
Yeah.
not going to help.
Yeah.
You don't know your resume then. You should be able to articulate your resume right from job one to your 20th job,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you should be able to, in layman's term, give a small synopsis of what you did.
Yeah.
And that's really important. Because if they ask you, hey, what'd you do in your last job? And you start reading bullet points, they already have seen your resume.
Yeah. Yeah.
They actually have it
They
in front of
actually
them.
have it. Oh, yeah,
You
exactly.
know, and if you're following along on the bullet points, then
Yeah.
that's not good,
Yeah.
right? So you want to make sure that you're not reading off your resume. It should be a small synopsis. And don't take, another major faux pas is don't take an eternity answering a question,
Oh, yeah. I hate that.
right? So
That's
you
right.
allot
Get to
30
the
minutes,
point.
get to the point, right? So your answer should be
Yeah.
probably, I always tell my, all the people that I've submitted and are called in for an interview, probably a minute.
Yeah, tops.
Minute for each question.
Yeah, yeah.
And if they ask you for more information, by all means, then
Yeah.
you wanna limit yourself for another minute,
Yeah.
because they had something might have intrigued them to
Yeah.
ask
Exactly.
another question.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure a minute,
Yeah.
and don't go overboard.
Yeah.
Right, stick to the point, answer the question, wait for the next question. There should be another faux pas is people don't wait, or when they go in for an interview, when one question is finished being asked and you've answered it, they like to have small talk. They think that dead air is not good. It is good,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because the interviewers are probably trying to create, collect their thoughts,
Yeah.
or make some notes.
Yeah.
So don't bother them.
Yeah.
Wait for the next question. Don't say anything,
Yeah.
right? Don't take your cell phone in with you. Don't
Oh, yeah.
put it on mute.
Yeah.
Is another major
Yeah.
faux pas. Take some writing,
Oh, crap. Hang on a
book or
sec. You
something.
don't mind if I take this?
Exactly.
Just kidding. Is a what?
Yeah. So don't take bring a nice, either a notebook,
Yeah.
but have some pre-written questions, which is another faux pas. Have some questions.
Yeah.
Don't ask when lunchtime is, or
Oh, jeez,
or
yeah.
what the benefits are, or what your salary expectations are.
Yeah.
Don't talk about that.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the project.
Yeah.
You want to know, okay, there's just something on the job description that's really important to know as a professional.
Yeah.
Is there something that you want to know about the company that wasn't on their website, or something
Yeah.
that's not mentioned on the job
Yeah,
description? Anything towards that is a good question. Anything towards, salary expectations, when's coffee breaks, and all this other stuff, not a good thing. Stay away from that.
Yeah.
It'll help you in the interviews. It'll help you when when you actually land the job,
Yeah.
because you're there to help the company and help the company grow,
Yeah.
and then you'll grow with that company.
Yeah.
Don't have preconceived notions that when you are either applying for the job, when you get an interview, and when you get hired. There should be no preconceived notions on expectations. Everything will be answered accordingly.
Yeah.
Don't think that your first pre-screen interview, you need to talk about your salary.
Yeah.
When you go to your first interview, there should be no preconceived notion that you need to ask about lunch hours or who the other. No. And then when you get hired,
Yeah.
you shouldn't. Everything is explained to you accordingly as you move along.
Yeah.
Right. And you've seen that, right? And,
Absolutely.
people go in, when's lunch hour? Remember when we used to work together, I interviewed one lady, she from the city of Edmonton, and the lady, first thing out of her mouth was, after I asked her any question, she asked me, we were in service, remember? And I was service manager, and she asked me, when's lunch? Oh, no, sorry, when's coffee break?
Oh.
First thing out of her mouth. That's the only thing that she cared about. And I never called her again.
Oh, of course. That's a flag.
Right, right, exactly. So go in there, do your thing. All these faux pas are meant to help,
Yeah.
to better be situated in an interview session, right?
Yeah.
And and there's other ones, but those are pretty big
That's
ones.
good. Those are the highlights.
Yeah.
Well, once again, if you guys have any other thoughts on some big faux pas you've run into, just let us know down in the comments. And hope you appreciated this session of a bunch of no-nos.